Good morning, Lily. How are you?
Hold on 1 second. We're gonna start here. And then we're gonna go into, and I'll switch to a better camera when we're just chatting. But for the start, how are you doing, Sarah? I know we
Good, thank
said,
God. Say it again.
are you set to meet tomorrow? Did you see my return
Yeah,
message?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I responded at 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's good. I'll have to figure. I mean, 9 o'clock is a very happy time because none of my kids are in school tomorrow. But I guess we'll have to figure that
Here,
out.
I'll be cooking and whatever, so but I don't want to do it too late.
Yeah,
Where
nine is good.
okay. So we're gonna only wait 1 more minute because I gotta start on time.
Yeah, but
And
just review me how it works for tomorrow, like payment wise, and then
uh yeah,
the start of the year, the when I renew for the year, how does that work with sessions
so
with
it's
you?
so you have to pay for that one-on-one session tomorrow, or you can renew tomorrow for the year and pay up front, and you get 3 one-on-one sessions free to use
For the whole year?
for the year whenever you want.
Okay, got it. And then what if I want to I didn't start like last year. I started like November. I had a baby November 1st, and I started
Mhm.
after that. So you sure it's October 1st, the renewal?
Yeah. Yeah, so you decide, like you can decide, and we could talk about that because now the people are here
Yeah.
tomorrow on your session. And when you do the year up front, so you get the 3 one-on-ones,
Yeah.
and then you can buy more at a discounted rate as well,
Okay.
if you want more one-on-one at any time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Like I feel like I need now more one-on-one just to like for the extra support to get back whatever, you know.
that totally makes sense. And just for everybody, I have a new link. So anybody who is already in the yearly program or paid, for the year, so you can schedule at a discounted rate, extra one-on-ones, much less than like if you were just coming to me for like 6 months of one-on-one coaching. So that's for now, through the end of Sukkot. So feel free to let me know, and you can schedule, even you could buy a package of 6 at the
Yeah, I
discounted.
would love that. I would love to get like more. Just right now, I feel like I need the support and I need it like more consistent so I build up that like those good habits again.
Yes, and that's
So
really
I
normal.
definitely,
And not only that, I just want to acknowledge Sarah asking for help before you put the weight back on. Okay, when it's a
I
few
need now.
pounds, when it's a
Yeah,
few pounds, it's really doable. But when it gets
yeah,
to be, you have feelings of failure, you have all these feelings of other things coming in that just make it more difficult. And I myself put on weight from time to time. I put on 5 pounds, I put on 6 pounds. I just don't let it keep going up, right? You have
yes.
to get help. And
Yeah, I
it's
definitely have to stop that like right now because I feel like I still have a lot of good habits that I'm keeping, but then I'm also like going back to like a lot of bad habits. So I have to like stop that right now before it continues.
yes,
So I really do need the support, and I feel like I need it like weekly. So just to make sure I'm more like I don't,
yes,
I'm
this is
consistent with it.
normal. I myself reach out and I get help when I need it because it's flowing against the curve. The curve is when things are difficult, ignore the problems and they'll solve themselves, and that rarely happens.
Yeah.
um, okay, let's focus on Rosh Hashanah this week. And we have 2 goals, intentions we're setting for this call. In this month, I wanted to do a back to basics, right? The first week we built on plate, harmony plate. Second time we built on the timing of your day and understanding how not just the order that we eat, but the more that we want to be not eating, the more we have to use better tools, the more we need more regulation tools for mind and body, to regulate our heart, to regulate our blood sugar, to regulate our mind and our thoughts. Okay, and those are 2 key parts of success. Our intention for today's call is to apply those same everyday behaviors to times where it feels like routine is out the window. It's time to treat. It's time for everything to be, every meal is a celebration. Every meal is an opportunity, okay? What are the in my opinion, 5 biggest challenges I see. And I want to hear from you guys if you have more to add to this. Strategies that are all based on sustainable, livable, healthy habits that we need to maintain after we've lost the weight. Okay, so that's our intention for today. Does anybody have something else that is really important to them that I didn't mention that we covered? Don't hesitate to ask. Okay, does everybody hear me clearly? Great. I know you don't see me well, but that's because I want to share my screen, and I'll switch to my better camera that I can't share my screen from. I apologize if you see me bounce a little bit. Like I said, I got rid of my office chair and I have a ball. So I really tried to like not do that on camera, but if you see me, it's been a long day. Okay. I created this guide. I hope you downloaded it. I sent the link. It's free. If you enjoy it, share it with friends. Send it to as many people as you want to download it for free. Okay. And Sarah and Khani, if you want to meet with me, I will be in New York for the first week of November. Save it in your calendar.
Very exciting.
The first week of November. I'm available to speak. I'm available to meet for coffee. Just be in touch with me.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Very exciting.
So yeah. Okay. We don't need my bio. Don't need this. Challenge number 1. Multiple courses. For who is this a challenge? Who is challenged by multiple courses? Nobody?
Multiple. Oh, yeah, sure, of course. I didn't have what you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deal with multiple courses. Okay?
I don't usually have.
You don't have on Chag multiple courses. You don't have like a Simanim course or a first course or a soup course or a main
Just I am, but it's very like I was even thinking like the second night, why not just have like soup and kuba? Like why do I have to make like soup, and like how many meals do we have to have with like, you know what I mean? Like we just had a big we finished eating our meal, whatever, like 4 o'clock, we're getting up from the meal, and then again there's another meal, and like I was just like, I don't know. Anyways, I whatever.
No,
Anyways,
not one. You're speaking truth. That is a great mindset to have if you can then implement it and make there be less physical work on you and more time for maybe write a letter to everybody you love, giving them a beautiful bracha for the new year, or learning something, or listening to a shiur, or doing something extra meaningful, right? That's amazing. Okay, so there's always that option to alternate your big multi-course meals with a simple meal, okay, that can still be delicious and beautiful. But let's go to the actual challenge of the multi-course meal, because if you're having guests, we often do multi-course meals, right? We feel like we have to, right? If our family standard that we grew up in is multi-course meals, we may not be ready to leave that, even if we feel like we want to. Okay, so
I'll just say information that I had today. I was like the way my mother like used to cook for the Chagim, and the way we have our mindset of like she had much more time. She didn't work full time and wasn't managing everything, and we're expected to work full time and also make this very lavish like 3-course meal for 4 different, like why do we
and it's not necessary. It can be a beautiful festive meal without having multiple courses. You're 100% right. Not only that, but it's more food than anybody needs, especially so many big meals in a row. You're 100% right. And yet you might be invited out to a multi-course meal. So we still have to deal with the challenge.
Yeah, I'm going out for the meals and I'm trying to figure that part out. How I'm going to deal with all the food.
Okay.
offer to bring the salad?
Offer to bring the salad is always great. Is a multi-course meal a challenge for you?
You asking me?
Yes.
Of course. I can't imagine not having it. I have a million people over, all my kids, they're expecting very big meals.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of like vegetables and salads, but there's still going to be a few courses.
Of course, of course. We're having sleepover guests for the whole Chag, okay? And I have not done a thing yet, and it is 5:15. I'm not finishing work till 7 tonight on Sunday.
Wow.
This is a problem, guys. It's a problem, but it will be solved with Hashem's help.
All right.
But
So what do we do? Are you going to talk about what? Okay. I'm very excited to listen for
okay.
ideas.
So again, the intention for today is to understand that the basics that we've been working on the last 2 weeks, the harmony plate, food timing, are the keys really, even when we feel like everything is out of routine and there's multiple courses and there's lots of other challenges, okay? We are the person who shows up at every meal. We are the person. So when we work on ourselves, a better person shows up at every meal versus always trying to change the situation. Yohan is 100% correct. And you might find over the years that you also move to less multi-course meals. Or I'm going to give the first tip to rethink a multi-course meal. Okay, you guys ready? Have you ever been to like a fancy wedding where they give you the menu printed at the beginning of the wedding and it says first course, second course, third course, okay? Are there 18 dishes at each course? No, there are not. First course, leaf salad with caramelized onions and pecans. Main course, a rib steak with golden potatoes and spinach. Dessert course, chocolate caramel blah, 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 with a halva crumb topping. Okay, there's only 4 dishes, but each one is its own course. Okay, that is one tip. Okay, to minimize the unrealistic amount of effort we're putting into the food that might need to be placed on our actual service to Hashem, not only on what we're eating, okay, which is important and is service and is part of what makes our kids look forward to the day, but you can actually go into Canva and print out a really pretty menu and put it fancy on the table. This is the menu for this evening. Welcome to Rosh Hashanah. We have simanim with an orange vegetable soup. Then we have roasted pomegranate chicken with caramelized carrots and potatoes and a green salad. And then we have apple crunch pie. And you make the apple crunch pie in cupcake or mini cupcake tins or ramekins, okay? Or the disposable paper, pretty ones, whatever you want. And so it feels very festive. It feels very effortful. It is delicious, but you've cut down the work from making a chicken and a meat and a fish and this and this and this, okay? Does that resonate with anybody? Could anybody consider that option? Yes?
Totally.
Just
I can consider it for the meals that like I just have my family. I don't know if I could do it for when I have guests. I guess I could because it really is a lot of food anyway. It's just, I don't know. I could try.
it on a beautiful card in beautiful font, and you have one on everyone's plate. They're like, ooh, so exciting, right? It's like the challah napkin holder, right? It's like all of a sudden, wow. Who will I remember once the challah napkin holder was like a big thing? I remember like from the Kitchen by Design cookbook, they had the challah napkin holder. Okay, it was a big deal at one point when I was first married. That's one option. It's not the only option. If you only use it for meals that you are just with your family, you'll already have cut back on tons of work, right?
Right.
What you can do is you can also take each plate of food, each course, and do it by plate size. Okay? If you go to a beautiful restaurant or you go where people care about what they look like, okay? The most expensive golf courses, the most expensive spas, the most luxury 5-star places that aren't catering to an Orthodox Jewish audience, okay? To regular people who want to wear their bathing suit out on the beach the next day, they have a big plate, and that no one eats from. That's decorative. Then they have a 9-inch plate, and then they have a 7-inch plate, and then they have a 5-inch plate or like a 3-inch plate, okay? And the first course comes, or like that's even the plates, like you put the salatim out, but you get a big plate. And then the soup course comes out, and you have a small bowl of soup. And then you have, you know, a salad course, whatever it is. And like each plate is not that big. That also works. That is the best trick also if anybody's going to a hotel over Sukkot. Just, right? What do they call it when you're, oh my gosh, I'm a little bit tired. There's a word, foreshadowing Sukkot. Okay, if you go to a hotel, take the smallest plates and just use those. And then you could go back again and you've had natural portion control. Could anybody see themselves, if you have a set of china, you have multiple sizes of plates? Like, does anybody have multiple sizes of plates? Or are you buying fancy plastic? Where this would also be pretty easy to do. Anybody? Is this a possibility? Connie, unmute yourself. This is interactive.
Who, me? No.
No, yeah, but if you have something to say too, go ahead. Connie, what were you going to say?
Me?
No, I would.
You.
Oh, sorry. You
The
go.
other
Hani.
Connie. No.
You
Go
go
first.
first.
Go first.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything. Just I could see myself taking a smaller plate. I often have smaller plates and larger plates, and I think that's a very good idea.
Then you're still putting out all the food, but you're using smaller plates. And you're
But then you
setting,
said you could go back and take more. Why would I do that? Doesn't that?
and if you're at a buffet, like let's say you're at a buffet, right? And like you're at a buffet or at a hotel, or right? Then
Right.
you use only a small plate. You could go back and like treat yourself to different courses. Okay,
It's still going to be better than using a big plate, you're saying.
100%, because you're gonna run away. Because that's a different challenge of sitting at the meal for so long. Okay.
Right.
So now let's talk about, no matter what you choose, front facing as the host and the cook, okay? Whether you choose as the cook and the person in charge of setting the table to either make your menu more elegant, and even we could call it sanua in the most beautiful elevated way possible, or if you choose to use for everybody multiple plates, and imagine how beautiful the table setting looks with multiple plates, and the napkin holder with the napkins and the silverware, whether it's fancy plasticware or real dishes, like it can look even more elegant and amazing and exciting because there's multiple plates. Now you've foreshadowed multiple courses. It's very exciting, okay? You can, instead of buying the big soup bowls, you can get the small soup bowls. Why? Because you use that big soup bowl on a regular night for dinner when that's all you're eating. But this is a course. It's supposed to be a taste of soup. It's supposed to be small taste of soup. It's supposed to be small. I just heard myself back.
I also heard you back.
Why is that?
I hear like double echo. And myself as well.
What just happened? Because that's something. Hello? Okay, it's one of your guys. Sarah, it's you.
What happened?
Somehow, when your microphone's off, it's giving a double, it's saying it twice. So only turn your,
Is this good?
no.
Okay, should I exit and come back in?
You can try to exit, or you can just leave yourself muted when you're not talking. If you're muted, it's not echoing. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So let's really talk about, what does it say here? Start with vegetables as yourself, now as the consumer of the meal. So this is if you're at someone else's house now, and there's multiple courses, or you're at your own house and you made multiple courses for any number of sociological and communal and family and internal dynamic reasons, okay? We have to talk tachlis, as they say, okay? Start with vegetables. When? At every course, okay? If you're having a soup course, that soup should have lots of vegetables in it. If you're having a simanim course, start with the beets and leeks. Don't start with all the other stuff, dates and pomegranate seeds and apples and like, oh, like start with vegetables, okay? Protein stabilizes the blood sugar. So if you want to do a fish course, make little bitty sized of salmon or thin slices of gefilte fish and start with some lettuce and gefilte fish and have a smaller portion, okay? Now, take a break between courses. Remember the harmony wheel? Gratitude, appreciation, and grounding. Okay? Subtle body cues. Move away from the table with your chair. You don't have to leave the table, okay? Move away from the table, cross your legs. Now it's much harder to pick. You literally, it's very awkward. You have to lean forward, like it just doesn't, psychologically and to your nervous system, you're on a break. Hold your water even on your lap, talk, be present, feel the chair under you, drink your water. The meal is long. You will have time to eat more courses. Don't worry, okay? Ground yourself. If you're serving and you're hosting a lot of people, ground yourself. Be in the moment. Be excited about what you've chosen to do, or now while you still have time to make a change, make a change. But once you made a choice, own your choice. When you're looking at that table full of people and you're bringing them food, pause, take a mental picture. Bring them a feeling of gratitude, of satisfaction. Look at my beautiful family together for the holiday. Wow. Okay? These are essential. Okay? Essential. As essential as what we eat. What we think and what we feel is the same nutrition content to our body as what we physically eat. We literally metabolize thoughts and emotions chemically in our body. They send out chemical and hormonal signals. It's important. Clear your plate when you're satisfied, okay? So let's say last night, for example, we had Friday night, we had a lot of guests, and I had a salad course, and then I had a soup course, and the soup course had a lot of chicken in it. The chicken had a lot of soup had a lot of chicken in it, and I was really full. Okay, but there was a whole nother course. I cleared my bowl, and when I cleared my bowl, I cleared my plate. And I just sat there, and the food came out, and there were a few times like I thought about taking food onto my plate, but my plate wasn't there. And I had a great meal with guests who stayed for a long time, but I didn't feel gross at the end of the meal. I didn't feel, because I was satisfied already, and I just enjoyed it. I knew the food would be left. There would be food for me to eat the next day. Like if I really wanted it, I could always go and have some, but I really was full. And I knew for Shabbos, Yantiv, Shabbos, Yantiv, Shabbos, Yantiv, if you're not eating it today, it'll be available. Okay, there's only so many different kinds of meat and chicken and potatoes and rice and vegetables you're gonna make. Okay, like it'll be there. The science behind this, okay? With vegetables and protein, it's slowing down the glucose absorption. It's lowering insulin and lowering fat storage and lowering cravings, okay? Repeat in your mind. Everything looks delicious. I'm pacing myself to enjoy each course. Say it out loud. You're on mute. Nobody can hear you. Everything looks delicious. I'm pacing myself to enjoy each course. I don't need to eat all of it right now. Okay? One of my clients, Rivka, said after we did this training, she was actually in my Shabbat Ideal Blueprint. I always left Rosh Hashanah dinner stuffed and miserable. This year, I started with salad and salmon and enjoyed each of the simanim. I crossed my legs and moved away from the table. She brought out warm water with mint manna leaves, so it was very beautiful. And while she didn't nibble on the challah, she didn't nibble on the kugel. She cleared her bite after 2 bites of dessert. She had dessert. She felt light, and she even walked her kids home because they were staying somewhere else after the meal. Amazing, okay? This is possible. It's possible for all of you, okay? Before we go on to the next challenge, what's something actionable that you're taking away from challenge 1? However you want to apply it. Sarah, go first, and I'll be quiet.
Okay, is it making noises? You're good?
Oh, it's good.
Okay. So I love that, like, throw your plate in the garbage when you're done. Like, you're done, you're done. So I think that's amazing, and I'm gonna apply that. I'm working towards having a Rosh Hashanah that's, like, you know, aligned with my goals and my, you know, what I want. So hopefully, you know, not hopefully, it will be good. So definitely the plate, throwing it in the garbage is a very good idea. And then, like you said, like taking a tea, what she did, taking a tea and holding on to hot water is also an amazing thing, which is, I'll implement that as well. So those are a few things that I'm gonna do.
Fabulous. Connie B. Let me unmute you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely sitting back, getting rid of my plate, and sitting back and enjoying the company and drinking my water or seltzer, and not just nibbling, you know, focusing on all the people who I love who are around me. And I did have another question, but I don't want to interrupt the flow of what we're doing right now. I'm going to be having guests that are gluten-free. So I need some ideas of what things to make for them that are gluten-free.
Since I have 3 gluten-free kids, I promise I will get to that before the end of our time.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Johanna.
Okay. I don't know if you said this overtly, but I kind of got this like vibe from, you know, that it's not, you know, it's not all about the food. There's a whole performance going on, meaning you're laying out a beautiful Rosh Hashanah meal, but also the simanim are like, you know, things that they're all supposed to have significance. So it's part of like, we talk about it, and also like, you know, being grateful. I just heard also this year about like, you know, when you're grateful, you bring down more shefa of whatever it is, right? Like you're grateful for shalom bayis, so then you get more shalom bayis. So like, you know, all these conversations trying to like, I feel like I want to plan more the, you know, the treats that will trigger, or, you know, like foods that will trigger conversations, like all these things, so that it's not just about the meal. Like you often talk about that the chagim have, you know, the foods, everything has significance, and it's not just about the food. We're not just sitting down to eat a yummy meal, you know, we're there to have something deeper. So anyways, I have to think a little bit, you know, really to plan and prepare to put in as much thought into how to create like that to create an atmosphere that's going to bring about, you know, conversations and brachos and gratitude, and, you know, so that it'll be a part of our table, not just about the food.
Love it. Beautiful. Connie P.
Okay. I love what Yohani said, but my table always is full of divrei Torah and stories and things, and we still manage to eat a ton. So I have to like be mindful that like that should be the focus, at least for me. And also I love the idea of crossing your legs between courses, that like no one has to see, but like I myself know that I'm doing something for myself. I really like that idea that I'm privately doing something for myself. I'm excited to try it, but I also think that I need to prepare before. Like, this is the best thing for me right now that we're doing this, because I could have all these things in place, but then once the meal starts, like, I don't want to do that. I just want to eat. So I think that if I say to myself before, like, this is how I'm going to do it, and I really try very hard to focus on that. And I know it's a very, very big mitzvah for me. It's one of the biggest mitzvahs. So I think that, and it's a very big tshuva for me. So I'm really, really going to try. I'm so happy that we're doing this. I'm going to try to focus starting from today and again tomorrow and again before Yontif. That's how I want to do it. And now I have the tips in place, but I have to first have like the mindset that I really want to do it this way.
Yeah, that you're not missing out on anything. You're gaining more than you're missing out, because we all make sacrifices and trade-offs all the time. And when we overstuff ourselves, we make trade-offs. We're making a sacrifice. And like Johanna said, like, we're sacrificing the health we might be even asking for in our tefillot. Like, that's not worth it. And you can still have beautiful food. What you're talking about also about it going out the window the second the food comes, ground. Recognize that's a pattern in your nervous system, like a stamp. But you can always make new stamps. Your nervous system and your brain can be rewired at any age. It can change. The thing is, like Sarah talked about, sometimes we need a refresher because the old programming is still there. And over time, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker, but that's years. It's not overnight. But the more that we repeat the new pattern, the stronger the new pattern is. And that's why sometimes we feel the messy middle, okay? Where we feel both patterns sometimes at war with each other, okay? That's normal. That's the point of Bechira. That's where you get the most credit, okay? Is as you continue to choose the good, and yes, sometimes you take a step back and you accidentally strengthen the poor pattern. Keep working on it. Keep strengthening the good pattern and not judging yourself harshly for the old pattern. It already is on its way out. It's on its way to disintegration. It just hasn't fully disintegrated yet. Okay.
I just like often forget once the meal starts, I forget that I wanted to do all of this. So what could I do not to forget?
Set of videos on food amnesia. That's what I call that. And it really comes from the emotional eating section. It really comes from, in the moment, I see food as the answer to enhancing connection. I see food as the answer to being more present here. I see food as the answer to ignoring the fight between the kids, right? Because our tables and Shabbos tables are not fantasy land. Everything is real and everybody's stuff comes with us to the table, okay? So the more that you strengthen grounding tools, breathing tools, other tools, the less your brain food amnesia happens. You forget, it's because the pattern is so automatic, you didn't notice it started. The previews are already on when you enter the theater. You don't have a choice. And then it's gaining more and more awareness. Notice, this is just a pattern. I know this feeling. I recognize this. Take a break. Reset. Ground. Okay? I know everybody wants more and more and more recipes. I have a whole cookbook of recipes I will give you at the end of this. I'm just reformatting it. It'll come later tonight. But like, the recipes aren't the secret. This is the secret. This is the secret. Okay. Challenge 2, long hours at the table. Who finds this challenging? Hours at each meal. No matter how great your intentions are at the start of the meal. So I actually learned a very valuable lesson from my ADHD children. Okay? Fidget toys. Fidget toys. You can use a napkin ring. You can use a bracelet. You can use things that don't feel like you're a kid and you're like, woo, the fidget toy. But you can use things to be a fidget toy. You can get a necklace with something. You can get a bracelet with something special for Chag. You could get beautiful napkin rings that you can play with at the table. really, sometimes that's all it is. And if you notice you're starting to put food in your mouth, just be like, food is not a fidget toy. Food is not a fidget toy. Food is not a fidget toy. Okay? End your meal with tea, and I recommend my hot cocoa. Okay? That's the cocoa powder. I have the recipe for you here. Okay? With a little almond milk and hot water. And again, make a big one, make two. You're having something chocolatey, you're sitting, you're ending the meal. It's also, if you're consistent and you do it after every meal, you are signaling and creating a new pattern. This means I'm done. The second I have that hot cocoa, I'm done. Okay? Oral fixation is real, and it can be soothed with movement or warmth. So moving your fingers, getting up from the table, moving around, doing something, or something hot, a hot beverage. Studies show warm liquids activate satiety hormones and calm appetite. Okay? Super helpful. I'm just stepping away to stretch. I'll be right back. Totally cool to say at the table, especially you're sitting there for a few hours. I'm just stepping away to stretch. I'll be right back. Don't you get lower back pain from sitting in chairs all day? You know, sitting is the new smoking. Okay? Sitting is the new smoking, just so you know.
Can I ask something? Like, I sometimes at the end of a meal, I'll put out like garinim.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, because you're putting minimal food in your mouth, but like it takes a long time and whatever. But how do you feel about that whole garinim thing? Because it's still activating I'm saying you're still doing something with your mouth. Does that make
transition? It's a baby step. Okay? It's a baby step, right? I'm not eating cookies. I'm not eating dessert. It takes a long time. Maybe the next baby step would be a sugar-free sucking candy that could last longer even, or a lollipop, okay? Then maybe it would be sipping a tea or a hot cocoa, and then maybe it would be food is not a fidget toy, okay? We all have to figure out what are the steps I need. Now that we can't always jump the bridge in one jump, okay? And it doesn't matter how many steps it takes us to get over the bridge. We just want to get over the bridge.
I also started doing a thing where I put out frozen grapes, also because it takes a little bit longer to eat. I don't know. So
Exactly.
I thought it's like
Training wheels slows it down. Amazing. And you know what? Even when you're over and you don't do that anymore, all of a sudden you can have a meal. It's really triggering for whatever reason. Your in-laws, this guest, this kid, this day, you're overtired, you're overworked, and you can go back and need to walk back 3 steps and need that lollipop, need those frozen grapes, need those garinim. I actually really like to do garinim when I have a lot of teenagers. I have a lot of teenagers right now, so when I have a lot of youth, I think garinim is great. I also put them at the end of the meal because the last thing they need is to sit and eat a platter of cookies. They don't need to. Garinim, again, like you said, it's very social, you know, and garinim for all non-Israelis is sunflower seeds in the shell. So it's not like pistachios that are high calorie and easy to break and eat. It's work. Miriam gave me this great testimonial. Her in-laws' house, they have a whole dessert course of dessert, like Venetian table dessert course. Okay. She brought the cocoa mix of mixing stevia and cocoa powder in a beautiful glass kind of coffee thing as a gift to her mother-in-law, sipped her cocoa and played with her napkin ring, and she did not graze until midnight. Okay, because she had this thing in her hand that, again, like you said, Connie, to her meant something. To everybody else, nothing. She's sitting at the table. She's being present. To her, her hands are busy. Okay? These things are possible. Use them. Anybody have anything else you want to add to think about this topic? Again, this is really important. Also, if you're going away to a meal somewhere else and they sit a long time at the table, especially if you have little kids like Sarah, make an excuse, go and take a break and be with your kids for a minute. But if you have older kids than me, I don't have that excuse anymore. And like some people's houses, I feel comfortable going to sit on the couch just because I'm done sitting at the table. But for a lot of times, you don't always feel comfortable. And when my in-laws come to visit, I want to sit at the table and be with them for hours. Like I want that. But I don't want to sit and eat for hours. So having things that really are helpful, whether it's I get to drink an extra 3 glasses of tea and have a hot cocoa, and I just got my water goal for the day, or whatever it's going to be, or I bring the lollipops out or whatever it is, those are super helpful. Or the napkin rings. Yes.
I just want to ask you in general about fruit. I guess fruit is really a carb. So like if we ate challah, there's really we shouldn't have fruit at the end of the meal. I mean, it's still better than cake or whatever, but it's better not to have any.
Plastic, dessert. Okay. Dessert. So again, if you're having challah, do you really want challah to be the carb of your meal? And you need to make that decision. Okay. Because if you want challah to be the carb of your meal, please do not eat it before you eat your meal. Take a bite for the mitzvah, put it on the side. When all the other carbs are in front of you, think, do I want that to be my carb? Or do I want all the simanim and all of the maybe fancy stuff that's in my salads to really be my carb? Like I don't need a full portion of carb on my plate.
Right.
And I can have my fruit for dessert. Again, small bowls, not picking fruit and just eating like from the bowl, small, like those little cholent bowls, like
Right.
that's something that we want to have a fruit and then like pick at it and like then move to water or tea. There's so
Also
many.
for challah, is sourdough better or matzah or a piece of whole wheat matzah? Like what's the best thing?
In my cookbook, I talk about mini pitot or matzah is great. Again, challah is cake. Today's challah is not the challah that was on the shulchan, which was much more like matzah. Like, it's just cake. Okay.
But what about sourdough?
Sourdough is bread. It's a great choice for a carb. Don't eat it first. Take a bite, save it. Meal.
Okay.
I have also a question. I mean, it's my same issue that I always have when I'm like clearing my kids' plates and I see that they have like, they touched the salmon, but they like left the whole thing or whatever it is. I'm like, it's really hard for me. Like I could be like I could do really well with my plate, but then it pains me to just dump everything out. And so I end up like, but I'm not going to put it back in the container because like the kids touched it. So then I end up eating it. Like that's like where a struggle of mine, especially, when there's like good meat or good whatever it is. Like I don't want to throw it in like how do I get out of that mindset of like it hurts me to just chuck it.
So you have 2 options, right? Number 1 is the piece savable? Like they haven't touched it and you could just put it back in the serving dish, okay, and pack it away with the rest of the pieces. If they touched it and you're not going to do that, then if you're not in my bitachon class, I teach a bitachon class on Sunday at 4:00 Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Israel. And we learned the section today from the Beis Halevi on bitachon, all about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and he talks about the man, and that God put out the man every single day that would be enough food for thousands of years, and no matter how much anybody took, they got 1 omer. It's okay to waste food if you have more than enough, and everybody's had more than enough, and it's not an appropriate serving to save because someone ate from it, or it's not hygienic, or whatever reason you might have for not just putting it back in the fridge. It's okay, especially on Rosh Hashanah. You're showing that you believe that Hashem has limitless abundance of his touch. And that is not me saying it, that's the Beis Halevi saying it.
I love how you said that. I love how you explained it that way.
Thank you. It was a great class. The recording will be later. You should definitely check it out. It's free. It's every week. Okay. Challenge. Yochana is like a prophetess. What is challenge 3? Joy versus effort of the meal. Okay, like it was so much effort. I don't want to just eat a little bit, or I don't want it to go to waste. This is a real challenge. You are not alone. This is one of my top 5 challenges that I see again and again and again. Tip number 1, we talked about the smaller plates. You can pre-serve pre-plate food, okay? You can. I know some people are like, no, but I have to serve it family style. You don't have to. There can be more in the kitchen. You can offer more to people who want it. But if you're serving multiple courses, you can pre-plate smaller portions. Also, if there's smaller plates, there'll be less waste, period. If you're a guest at someone else's house, that can also lead to overeating, feeling like they put so much effort into the meal, or maybe your host is a food pusher, coming from the best place of just wanting her guests to be happy, okay? But sometimes people feel like they need everyone to try and make sure they ate enough to know for themselves that it was good. Like, that is how they were brought up, okay? Offer, 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 push food. It's a love language that, you know, was acculturated into them. Don't take it personally. Honor the cook with words, okay? I trained my mother-in-law personally, I have to tell you. She used to be a big food pusher. I am, and nobody else, I will tell you, in the family really gives like extensive compliments to all the effort she puts into cooking. And I think that's why she's a food pusher. I'm just saying, because I over compliment. Wow. And notice the details. It's not made up. It's like just really being appreciative. Look at the way the salad dressing complements the nuts and the crunch of the salad. I love how you plated this. I'm not making it up. Be sincere, okay? They can tell if you're not authentic, okay? But again, we talked about gratitude and appreciation and seeing the good, all themes of Rosh Hashanah. Really, really do it. And the host will be so happy they had you, and no one's paying attention to how much you really ate of it, okay? Because you're handling yourself, okay? Sometimes, like Johanna said, we put a lot of effort into the food, and we don't take pictures of our food. We don't have any pictures of these holiday meals that we put so much time and effort into, because in the end, they don't really matter. It's the experience we had while eating with the people that matter. And it's Chag, and we don't take pictures, but take a mental picture throughout the meal. How beautiful it looked. Like, we need to be able to fill our own praise cup, okay? With, you did such a good job. Really, look how well that turned out. Go me! Like, that was really good. And we are always looking for that affirmation from other people, myself included, and just really working on it. Really working this year on telling yourself you did a really good job and really treating yourself like your own parent, okay? I'm gonna say it again, smaller plates. Portion illusion is proven scientifically to cut calorie intake by 30% without any loss of satisfaction. I have a male client who had like for Chagim, he lost 30 pounds and has kept it off over the year. Changed nothing but his plate size. He only eats his whole life now from salad-sized plates, which are like 7 inches, not 9 inches. He's changed nothing else, okay? Lost 30 pounds, he's kept it off. Your plate size matters. It doesn't reduce your satisfaction in your food. It reduces the over-calorie intake. In fact, the obesity epidemic in America is tied to the increase in average plate size. The average plate size used to be 7 to 9 inches. It is now 11 to 13 inches. Like, the rim has gotten bigger, the plates have gotten bigger. Okay, therefore portions have gotten bigger. Healthy mindset. This is gorgeous. How did you make the fish so tender? How did you cook this? Have a whole conversation. You can get a lot of joy from food without consuming the food only, right? There's touch, there's texture, there's smell, there's effort, right? There's a lot of things. Shira, who was in one of my first one-on-one clients, said, I always felt pressure to eat seconds to show respect. It's how I was brought up. This year, I praised the brisket. I took a mental photo of the table with detailed praise and appreciation, and I stuck to one portion, one plate of food. My hostess actually told me she really appreciated my words, and I was happier, and I actually left feeling more connected. true. Like it just is. When you verbally acknowledge somebody else, it's also good for you. Anybody ever read the story of the bucket, the happiness bucket, right? When you fill someone else's bucket, your bucket gets full too. Questions, comments, something you're taking away from this challenge?
I think I'm gonna take a smaller plate for myself, even if I don't give it for everybody else. I can do that, right? I could just take for myself a smaller plate. Like if I already have my paper goods, I don't know. I have to check what I what I have, but I can do that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm excited to do that.
You though to think about serving everybody smaller plates. They
Right.
can always take seconds, but if you
Right.
see a whole family is struggling with weight and consumption, if they're just caught by me, oh, this is the size they had this year. Oh, these look smaller than usual. Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because
Doesn't
I recently bought smaller plates because they were so much cheaper for regular everyday plates. And someone in the family said, no, don't buy these plates. They don't fit the food. So, I have to go back to that and say, okay, you could take seconds if you want, but yeah, everyone is working on their weight, on their health. So it's
like
really a good idea. I really like it. And meanwhile, for Yontif, I'm gonna try to at least do it for myself.
good, good, and it really makes a difference. And if again, when someone says that to you, you can be like, "That's really interesting. Do you think maybe you're taking too much at once?"
Right, right,
See what fits on the plate and see if you're still hungry. You can always have more. Like I don't understand the problem.
right,
Very
right.
matter of fact, without judgment. Okay, like there's something wrong with that. There isn't.
I'm actually kind of triggered by the small plate situation
Yeah.
because my mother-in-law, who's like a size 0, she eats with she uses a small plate and chopsticks so that it takes her longer to eat.
Mhm.
And my kids, who are also tiny, like they're small kids, they also started using small plates. And like we had guests over, and I was really embarrassed because like my guests were a little bit heavier, and my kids are using these small plates, and then all the guests are using these big plates. It was kind of I don't know, like I felt like I I didn't like that there was like, oh, like they're eating, like that there was a difference between everyone, and like you could see it's like, oh, why are they using big plates, why are they using small plates? Like it's like if everyone has small plates, I can see that. Like if you have an appetizer plate for the simanim, like I would give everyone a small plate for the simanim and the salatim, and then a bigger plate. The truth is our plates are big plates, our like Shabbos plates are big plates, like not the appetizer, the other ones. And my kids take the appetizer plates for their meal. That's what they eat out of it. There's
The
something
normal
about it.
size. That is
Huh?
what you eat. An appetizer plate now on a big set is the size of an average plate size when people intrinsically had a better relationship with food and didn't overeat.
What do I
Literally,
do? Like, I feel bad with I feel funny giving my guests a small plate, but then I also feel funny that like I'm eating out of this little plate and my guests are eating out of this. Like there's something I feel awkward about it.
yeah,
Like
it's great that you feel awkward about it because it means, remember we talked about that messy middle. There's the old pattern of, I want to serve everybody a big plate. And then there's, my mother-in-law has had a positive influence on my kids that they intrinsically know that this is the right amount of food for them. And like, if you serve all the food on a buffet or in the middle of the table, and people can take seconds, there's nothing wrong with using a smaller plate. Like, people just notice she has a smaller set. Like, it's just a decision. And especially if you use plastic plates, the plastic plates, unless you get the extra big size, tend to be smaller. Then the cheaper ones are smaller than the other ones, which are bigger. Okay, they're called oversized. They say like 11 inches, 13 inches, whatever. So it is something to think about. And it's something to journal about, maybe, or to meditate about, or to talk about. Because like we said, there's two versions that are in conflict. And that is totally healthy. That's how change happens. you know, and so it's good to have that conversation with yourself and recognize you have two equally worthy parts who are both trying to do good. The
But I
one
think I just think she's asking, like, is it not respectful to the guests to give them something different? Like, are they going to feel bad? Even if I decide it's an okay decision, that's what I want to do. Do you think it's not nice for the
I
guests?
personally give everybody the same size plate.
Right.
We like small plates. Everybody gets a small plate. When I switched plates, I switched the plate size.
Right.
If you're concerned, give everybody two plates. Put the big plate under the small plate. Then, if the kids eat from the small plate, it's on top of the big plate. They just look like they didn't switch their plates. It's less conspicuous that you're eating from the small plate and they handed in their small plate. Okay? But it's optional. And it's really about choosing your discomfort. Okay? Because your guest is not coming to get a big plate. They're coming to have a lovely meal and experience with you. If everybody has the same size small plate, like, it's only a conversation if they bring it up. Wow, that's so interesting. Your plates are smaller than ours. Yeah, did you know that plate size has just grown over the years? My mother-in-law introduced us to small plates and it's totally the thing. Good story.
Funny because it,
Interesting.
like
Okay. You don't have to say it. She's really skinny. You're gonna say like, man, my mother-in-law introduced us to small plates and we've just become obsessed with it. It's so much more fun. Right? Like light, right? We're not trying to, we had a conversation on Shabbos in this week's parsha about influence versus manipulation. We're not trying to manipulate our guests into eating less food, okay? But we're influencing ourselves. And we're influencing our family to eat an appropriate portion of food so that we can give abundantly. Hashem said he put out more than enough food for thousands of years, but no matter how much anybody took, each person in the house got one omer. Okay, like in the end, there's a portion that's healthy. And that can differ person to person, which is why someone could take seconds. It's not, right? It could take seconds. Connie B, did you have a question? Or are you just moving your hand? No, no question. Comment. Connie B, what's your takeaway? What's coming up for you?
it's on mute.
Yeah, she'll get it. Takes hers.
Okay, I'm here. You hear me? Yes, I like very much the small plate idea. I have to just make sure not to keep reloading that small plate. And yeah, so I'll do all those, all those fidgety things and drink a lot and whatever I can to take it in that one plate is enough, for that specific course. But yeah.
Again, it's okay. But just remind yourself, I am eating again in a few hours. Like the last thing you want is, when you use like a traffic jam of Chag meals? It's like a traffic jam. Like you get to the next meal, you're still digesting the last meal. Like you don't get to the traffic jam, It's okay. Sarah, you want to unmute and I'll be quiet and tell us your takeaway from that?
Yeah, so there's a lot. So first of all, I'm eating out all the meals pretty much. I have my mother-in-law my mother that like kind of like decided what meals, So when I go to my mother, she kind of understands where I'm holding at my health, where I'm holding at. So she makes a lot of healthy options. She'll understand. Like I'm gonna tell her, I don't want to sit at the table the whole time. I'll sit at the couch. She'll understand me. So that works. And then I have a baby that, so I can't sit at the table anyway the whole time. So I walk away from the table. I'll go out and I'll take a walk. I won't be at the table the whole time. I think that's a really good option for me. I also don't like just chit-chatting, also like nonsense the whole time. So I will definitely be like, going on a walk or whatever it is. And I guess the excuse also is the baby. So that works really well for me. Now, really also just like, making one plate and this is what I'm eating, like a salad, a protein, and like just, this is what I'm eating. This is my meal. And that's it. I don't have to have any more. So just kind of keeping that in mind, like this is what I'm having. So, and everything else we said about, if I need hot water, take hot water. um, just to ground myself. And I really hope to have a good Chag.
Lily, I just want to thank you. I have to go. I switched something, but I have to go now for that. So thank you so much. And k'tiva v'chatima tova to everyone. And I'm gonna look at the rest of the stuff.
Great. Okay,
You
guys,
too.
we finished our time. Right. I'm just gonna read the next. Sorry, I'm muting you. Relationship with food. Food is joy, not sin. Okay, don't make it all or nothing. It's against the idea of Rosh Hashanah. That's against the idea of the Chagim. It is joy, but it is joy, discipline. That's sex. We have Taras HaMishpacha. We have food. We have to balance it with health and kashrut. There's always boundaries. Okay, it's just life. It's Jewish life. It's okay. Focus every single night, visualizing what you are grateful for about your day. Okay, super important. The more that you reward yourself thinking positive thoughts, the easier and more cement you're putting in those good new patterns. I am so grateful for this meal. I'm honored my body by stopping before I was overfull. Shefa, praise, appreciation, create a dopamine response. Okay, putting out a bowl for everybody of those sugar-free lollipops alongside the garainin could be a great thing. It doesn't only impact you, it impacts other people too. You could do sugar lollipops and sugar-free lollipops. One lollipop keeps you at the table and it keeps your mouth busy for a long time. Okay? Last is just the challenge of the back-to-back meals. It's so many meals, okay? It spikes your blood sugar. Really, between meals, avoid the post-nap snack. Avoid the extra kiddish nash, the playing games, sitting out for a long time nibbles, okay? Open every meal, water, veggies, protein, then carb, or then dessert, okay? If you do find yourself hungry between meals, give yourself like the biggest high five. That means you probably didn't overeat at the last meal. And then check in with that hunger level. Can I ground myself? Can I breathe? Can I really wait knowing 4 more meals are coming? Okay. And just drink more water and wait for the next meal and be so happy that I actually didn't overeat and I'm looking forward to the Yontif meal. Okay. Don't have dessert at every single meal between Shabbos and Chag. Choose the meals in advance that have your absolute favorite desserts. Remind yourself when the next dessert comes out, I am choosing this apple crisp, but I'm saving a different dessert for tomorrow, for another day, for a different meal. 1 dessert a day, okay? Dina, who is 50, who lost over 40 pounds and kept it off for 3 years. I started each Chag meal with salad and water, picked one favorite. I chose a dessert or a carb or an alcoholic drink at each meal. That means the other meals that she wasn't having a dessert, she wasn't having a carb either. Instead of weight gain, she lost 2 pounds and she actually felt really in control. So knowing just that there were so many meals back to back and that she wanted to have a more indulgent dessert or a glass of alcohol at different times, the other meals, she didn't just skip the dessert, she also skipped the carb to kind of create space between the two. Okay, you are not alone. You can do this. Okay, I have a few more stories. I have my hot cocoa recipe here, and I will send out the recipes. I also have a special dessert survival guide. Okay, just a little bit, and use a buffet. A buffet is really a big difference. Channeling energy. Take a look at this. Enjoy. Give me your feedback. Have a Shana Tova Mitzuka.
Thank you so much. You too. Oh, to everybody.
Thank you,
Shana
Lily.
Tova.
Sameach.